The Up and Adam Show is sponsored by the Topflix app. Discover your next favorite movie and TV series and where to stream it. Explore trending titles, popular trailers, entertainment news, and much more, all in one free app. Download it on the App Store today for free. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Up and Adam Show. My name is Adam Lupus. I'm here with my good friend Matt Mena.
What's going on, guys?
You guys have seen him on an episode before, and we have a really cool episode in store for you guys today. He's actually a guy we watch all the time on YouTube. His name's James A. Janisse, and he has a channel called Dead Meat, and he's the host of The Kill Count, which is basically tallies up the victims in all your favorite horror films. That's a famous line he says. And we're here to welcome James A. Janisse. How's it going, man?
Hey, Adam and Matt. How's it going?
Good. It's so exciting to have you on today, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for talking to us, man. It's awesome.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. How have you been, man? Because it's been we've been trying to plan this for a while. So I mean,
yeah, it's been a while.
You had a lot of stuff going on. You moved and everything. So how are things been?
Yeah, I think you reached out to me sometime last year, like mid last year. It's almost been a whole year that we've been trying to do this. And yeah, in that time, just some things have happened, like a worldwide pandemic. We moved from the apartment that we lived in for 7 years into a house that we purchased, like real adults, which is insane.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
And then, no, thank you. Yeah, it's great. It I wish everyone could do this, because just being able to step outside my front door and be in the nice air and sunshine without having a mask on, because I'm not like stepping out into an apartment building.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with everybody there.
Yeah, it's done a lot for our mental health and emotional well-being. So I'm very grateful for that. I wish everyone could do that. But yeah, that took up a lot of time. And then we moved right before Halloween, which, as you can imagine, is a very busy season for us. So that was busy. And then I kind of took some time off for the holidays just to let myself recharge. And so now we got New Year. I mean, we're already, in March, which is wild. Yeah, that we're
Crazy.
just deep into it. But I've been having a good 2021 so far. I hope everyone else is too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have. Yeah. And I'm sure the weather's nice where you are. Over here in Canada, it's been terrible. To say the least.
We're actually in Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Oh, great. Yeah. You may or may not know I'm from Michigan originally. So
yes, I saw you. You mentioned.
Yeah,
that.
right
That's
next door. I went to Windsor for my 19th birthday. So
no way.
No way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you go to the was it the Caesars? Is that where you went?
I don't remember the specific casino because now it was so long ago. But yeah, that was the thing. Because I think now, I think things have changed now. But back then, the thing was, if you were in Michigan and you turned 19, cross the border, and because the legal drinking age in Canada is 19.
19.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's super easy to go there and party when you're 19.
Yeah, it's real close. That people don't realize how close that there's a bridge from Detroit into Canada.
Yeah. Super
So
close.
it's gonna be if someone's 19 and want to get drunk, they just go to Canada for the weekend.
Exactly.
Or if
and like I said, I think laws may have changed since my day to maybe prevent that, but I'm not sure. I just know what we did back then,
Absolutely. And then if you're 18, you go to Montreal. There's always you want to drink. There's always a place.
Is their age even lower?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
In Quebec, it's 18, which is I know it just keeps getting lower.
It's getting lower and lower. Who knows?
They're their own country almost.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And we're also Italian, so in Italy, the drinking age is actually 6 years old. So,
So there's no drinking age
there.
there.
Bottle.
Oh my god. Anyways, so it's an honor to have you on. We're big fans of your YouTube channel and your show. We're really curious to know though where this love for the horror genre started. So I mean, can you tell us about your upbringing, or how did that get started for you?
Yeah, it's hard to remember a time in my life where I wasn't exposed to horror movies. I remember being real young, watching Night of the Living Dead, Serial Mom, the John Waters horror comedy. My mom really liked that. She hates violence. She cannot stand violence or horror movies, but for whatever reason, she liked Serial Mom, I guess because it was funny
awesome.
And about a mom.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Each their own.
Yeah. She got a kick out of that. I still want to cover that on the Kill Count, dedicate it to her. Maybe
please.
For
yes,
her
yes,
birthday.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
It's so good because friggin' oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name from Scream. He played Stu. and Shaggy.
Oh,
Oh my
I
gosh.
forgot his real name, but
From
yeah.
Scream.
I want to say Skeet Ulrich, but I know that's the other guy. And Matthew Lillard. I'm so
There you
sorry,
go, there you
go.
Mr.
Yeah,
Lillard,
yeah.
But I
for
knew who it was. Yeah,
blanking.
from
Of course.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, but he's in Serial Mom. It's great. But yeah, so I was exposed to them from a young age. I remember being scared of Scream. Speaking of which, when my family rented it and watched it in the living room, I ran away from it. But then I was probably, 7 years old at that point. By the time I was 9 or 10, I was full on riding my bike up to the video store, renting R-rated movies with my parents' permission. They like wrote a thing to the video store to
That's
allow me to
awesome.
rent these R-rated horror movies.
Oh my
And
God.
I probably could have used a little bit more guidance, and I'm glad that I'm around now to offer some guidance and context to younger horror fans today, because I would just see some wild shit, and
Absolutely.
just completely unattended, or so it's been a part of my life forever, and I've gone in and out of horror movies. I was really into it when I was preteen, and then in high school I got more into like gaming and didn't really watch horror movies, but they've always been around and I love them so much.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Awesome,
you Matt actually, he's a really big fan of horror movies. Like he's a bigger fan than I am, and you grew up like your whole life watching them too, no?
Yeah, actually very like pretty similar story. I remember, I don't know why, but my family, we all watched Nightmare on Elm Street together. I get like, it just seems like a weird movie to watch as a family, but and ever since then I think I don't know, I was like maybe 10, 11 years old, and that's where it all started. And then I got into obviously Friday the 13th and to the Halloween. So kind of, obviously the big guys, right? And then I started finding my way into the, I don't want to say like smaller market, but ones that not everybody knows of, but not like a crazy amount, like so many of those movies, and I think it's so awesome. Like I don't know as many, but yeah, man, like I've loved horror movies since I was about, like I said, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of people get into them at that age. It's great.
Oh yeah.
I got into them recently. I think like few years ago. All the slashers. I'm a big lover of like the 80s and 90s, as you could probably tell by my logo and the name of the show. So I love that retro thing. So I like Freddy Krueger to me is like one of my favorites. Chucky, Child's Play.
Yeah.
Those are all great.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, but and now from like when you were a kid to now, you have this YouTube channel called Dead Me, and we're excited to talk about that. Yeah.
So take us through like the journey of the channel, like from when you started, like kind of like how you started, like what made you want to start the channel and how it evolved into what it is today.
Yeah, the briefest history I can give is simply that I've always been into making videos. I made and uploaded my own videos to the internet before YouTube existed, and would just upload them to a private server and send the links to friends on AOL Instant Messenger and use up all my bandwidth doing that. But I was into making videos from an early age. I went to University of Michigan and majored in film production, and
awesome.
Thought that I wanted to be a director. It'd still be cool to direct something, but that's a lot of work, and it's hard to just go up and direct your own thing because you need money to do that kind of thing. So after film school, I decided I wanted to make some YouTube videos just as a way to use that degree and keep my skills sharp. So we formed, me and some friends formed a comedy channel that was originally Comediocracy, and then due to some YouTube, can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so due to some YouTube fuckery, we had to relaunch it as Practical Folks, and that we had for a good 4 years and did pretty well, but it kind of plateaued around 60,000 subscribers, which is, I'm sure many people would kill to have those numbers, but it was something that it was taking up so much of my time outside of real work, which I had to do to pay the bills. And even if Practical Folks got huge somehow, it was a group of 4 of us. So splitting things 4 ways, it would never be enough to sustain myself financially and professionally.
Yeah,
so after a few years of that and just it kind of, failing to really get to the next level, I decided that I wanted to just have a solo channel where I could make all the decisions myself and not have to talk to a committee to do everything. And then if it got successful, hey, it'd be all mine. So I started to think about what I wanted to do in the end of 2016 and landed on horror movies. I considered doing like fitness stuff a little bit. And what was the other thing? Oh, like kind of news stuff, because those are my other interests. I love exercise and I love like keeping up with politics. But those are
Sorry
have
to
their own
interrupt.
problem.
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, speaking of fitness, before I lose track, we saw you on you posted a video of P90X actually.
Yeah, we were watching the YouTube video when you showed that you did
The Beachbody program.
The whole regime.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
man. And
sorry to interrupt. I wanted to just bring that up. Yeah,
Yeah.
good for you, man.
I know, man. I mean, that was what, 5 years ago now, almost 6 years ago. So it sucks looking at that and being like, I would love to get back into that shape, but that was with such a controlled diet and like the most intense personal training.
Exactly.
And maybe one day, but like, I love just like kind of morphing my body and trying to get it in a good shape.
Yeah.
But those had their own problems. You know, I wasn't
Yeah.
as much of an expert on fitness as like, I wouldn't want to make videos about something that I wasn't an expert on.
Yeah,
especially something with fitness where it's like, if you're wrong about it, someone could get hurt. So I was like, what do I know really well? Oh, horror movies I was super into for a lot of my life, and decided to make a channel about that. And I spent 6 months doing development and working on the script and the graphics and the sound design and everything. And then launched the first video, uploaded in April of 2017. And thankfully, just serendipitously, I chose to cover Friday the 13th first, mostly as it's a huge series. It's got the most movies, so I can get them out of the way right away.
Exactly.
And thankfully, that game, Friday the 13th, the game happened to come out or was getting big at that same time. So people would search videos about the movies because of the game, find my videos, and it took off in record time. Like, it was shocking how fast Dead Meat got big. And I think 7 months after I posted my first video, I was able to leave my full-time job because the channel would support me enough. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Yeah,
that's so cool. No, and
amazing, man.
And we were talking about it too. We noticed from your first video to your last, to your newest, we can tell how much you've grown to as a person. Like, you're more comfortable now, and like, it's nice to see that, because there's a lot of channels out there that do what you do. Obviously, right? There's a big everyone's doing horror movies and stuff, but the reason why you stand out is because you have your personality. One, you make it fun and interesting, like you do kill counts, right? And like, it's very engaging. You make it funny too. And actually, the ones that I like the most, that I truly enjoy, are the Child's Play ones. As I mentioned, Chucky's my favorite.
Yeah.
But the ones that I really laugh at, the Leprechaun ones. I was made. I was dying at those.
Yeah,
ones.
the Leprechaun ones are awesome, man. I mean, first of all, because those movies are just like the best, like in terms of just being so cheesy, and you're like, what the hell is this? But it's awesome. And then the way you covered it was amazing.
It's so much fun.
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
What yours is? I guess
mine's on Elm Street, because, like I said, that was my favorite. My gosh. Favorite franchise series.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of that word. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, boom, this is it. And then I watched all of them as soon as they came out, and those are my favorite ones, obviously.
And you have a collection of.
Oh yeah, when I was about 13, I started collecting a bunch of the action figures. I have a 13-inch Freddy Krueger, and it's still in the box. I have ones from Freddy vs. Jason. I have ones from Alien, and that became a huge obsession. My parents they got so pissed. My whole room was just covered with them. And they're like, when the hell are you gonna take these things down, man? I was like 21. They were still up in my room.
I don't know how old you guys are, but for me, I remember like going to the theater for Jason X and for Freddy versus Jason. When I was, I would have been 11 or 12 when Jason X came out, and I had my dad take me and a giant group of our friends, like 10 friends, to go see it, like to the theater. I'm sure that all their parents were pissed that my dad would do this.
Jason X.
I haven't seen Jason X.
Like, when I first got into horror movies, I remember being like, okay, here are the big franchises. Friday the 13th, that's the Jason one. There are 9 of those. For me, when I first got into them, Jason Goes to Hell was like the last Friday. It was the final Friday for sure. Yeah. And it's wild that just how much time has passed now. I mean, especially with that series, only 3 movies have come out because of the whole legal issues. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys mentioned the evolution of just my on-screen, the videos themselves, me on screen, the editing, all that. Because that's really important to me, to never just rest on my laurels and just keep things the same. I've always thought it was really important to bring a lot more to the kill counts than what they started as, because those first few videos really are just like, this person died, and then this person goes into a cabin and they die, and it was really just a rundown of the kills. And to me, that's not interesting. That wouldn't sustain my interest or enjoyability for the 4 years I've been doing this. So that's why I started to add, really focus on the jokes and making them a funny viewing experience, and then really start to add behind the scenes and production info just to make it so that if you watch the movie and then watch the kill count, you're still getting new information.
Yeah, exactly.
Rehashing the same stuff. It should be like a complimentary addendum to the movie you just watched to like give you some more context and maybe point some things out. But that's the thing with those early franchises that I covered. I covered the big ones right away. And so like I'm redoing the Friday the 13th movies this year. I'm going to remake those kill counts. And yeah,
I remember seeing the video you put up there saying that you're going to redo them. I was like, that's awesome.
Because, some of those are 8-minute kill counts. Nowadays, they would probably be like 20-minute, 25-minute kill counts just with the expansion of the information that I give. So I'm really excited to do that. And then I haven't decided how far I'll go with the remakes because like Scream, probably that came right after Friday the 13th. But then the one after that is Child's Play. And it's like, okay, do I really want to do those 7-8 movies over again? And then the real tricky ones are stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street, where I was starting to get more into what they are now, but not quite. And then like with Leprechaun, I would love to give more behind the scenes info than I did. But, I watched those old episodes. Like I can't recapture that.
They're so
reaction.
Awesome.
Just my bewilderment at the Leprechaun series. I can't like reenact that. It's impossible.
Exactly.
So I might just have to leave those alone.
Exactly. And it's funny because I think that like at least it's got to be every episode. I learned something like you were saying about the behind the scenes stuff or stuff about the actors and directors. I learned something new about all those movies for every movie that you cover. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's awesome. Like I had no idea. Right. So it is awesome. Like you said, that you add that stuff in because it really like that goes a long way. It makes a big difference.
Yeah. It makes us enjoy them more too. But what's also interesting, because I know Terrifier 2 is coming out and you did Terrifier 1. I actually had Art the Clown on my show. I interviewed him last week. Yeah, David Howard Thornton. And I mentioned you on the episode. Hope you don't mind. And he's a big fan of your channel too. He told me, he goes, oh, he's like, yeah, I watch him. He goes, tell him I say hi and stuff. So yeah.
We went to a horror convention in when was it? October of 2019, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it was in Rochester, New York. So it was kind of a smaller one. And our table was right next to all the Terrifier people. So I think we were right next to David. And it was great because they're all lovely people. They're so nice. And I remember, that movie, I always try to be honest with how I feel about a movie.
Of course,
yeah. Even when it's from someone I love or I get a screener or, Universal sends me something, I try not to let that influence my opinion about a movie because I want to maintain my credibility.
Of course.
And so with Terrifier, I had my issues with it. And it could have made for an awkward situation, because I rag on the movie a little bit. But I think it's important to always try to be in good faith with criticisms and always try to point out the good stuff. And thankfully, the good stuff with that movie is with David's performance. It is phenomenal. Like there's no complaints about Art the Clown. Yeah. He is amazing. And so I think I was able to stress that enough in my video so that when we met, it wasn't like a thing where it was like, oh, this is the guy who shit talking my movie.
Yeah, it was like, you're the guy. It's like,
she just talked a bunch of shit about me. It's like, no, right?
Yeah. And it's so hard too, because, I criticize some of the other acting in that movie, and then I meet those people in person, and like, they're lovely people. They're so
and that's why it makes it hard after to say like,
Yeah. And I just hope that, anyone who puts themselves out there acting, one, is brave as hell. Like it's so scary to put yourself out there and to have your performance judged by millions of people. But I just hope that they, can take some criticism and know that I never mean it personally, because like I said, when I met them in person, it was great. We had a great time chatting, and I hope that their feelings weren't hurt if they watched the video and saw me being like, yeah, the acting's not good.
No, James, at the end of the day, it's your opinion first off, and second, like I have my reservations for the movie as well for certain parts. It's normal. That's how. And at the end of the day, that's what, when you give good criticism and you're honest, that's what makes them grow, right? That's like, it's like even for me, like, I'll be honest, like for my show, for example, like when I first started, I was really awkward. I made a lot of mistakes. I was just very like, I stuttered a lot in there, everything. And I asked my friends and my family, and I even posted on Instagram, what do you guys think? Any criticism? And, that's how you learn. So
Exactly.
It's all in good faith. That's what you just said. It's all in good faith, and that it shows that you even give a shit too, right? It shows that you care to do it.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Absolutely. But in terms of that too, and going back to like movies in general, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
I mean, The Thing is always the one I cite as my number one, even though it's, I haven't watched it in a couple of years and I need to change that just to make sure that's still number one, but I think it is. Yeah, because it's so cool. I love it. I love every aspect of it. Other favorites include Scream. I mean, that was such a formative movie for me. Like I said, it sent me out of the living room scared when I was real young. And then that, it kicked off that late 90s resurgence, which was when I was getting into horror movies. So
Yeah, exactly.
when the genre first captured my heart, all the new ones were Scream knockoffs. So very important movie to me. Other favorites, man. Usually I have this list at the ready, but my mind is kind of blanking. The original Suspiria is way up there. I love that one. Anything by Mike Flanagan is fantastic. I think I have like a list of like top 10 horror movies in no order, but I don't know where that list is right now.
How about what are your opinions on like Rob Zombie movies, like that type of genre, the very like.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Zombie is kind of a genre in and of himself. I think.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Hellbilly, I would describe it. And
Yeah.
I am glad that they exist because I know that some people watch those movies and they think that the characters are obnoxious, which they are. And but they think that the characters are like trashy, which they kind of are. But
I guess that's the point of the genre.
Yeah, I have seen some criticism that they're not believable or realistic characters because people don't act that way. And I just think like, well, you haven't met those people. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I grew up in Metro Detroit, so right outside Detroit, but it was the downriver community. It's not the most, it's more like a lower middle class, working class. And just, I knew a lot of people who, even though I think Rob Zombie, I forget where his roots are, but Hellbilly kind of feels like a Southern kind of thing, but parts of the Midwest can feel that way. And so exactly. I know people who kind of acted like people in Rob Zombie movies. And I think that it's good that there's someone making a movie that shows those people's perspectives, even if it's an ugly perspective that not everyone wants to see. Like, might as well have it. And I think that he needs someone to tell him when to reel it back sometimes because he is just a man of excess. But I'm glad that they exist, even if I don't love them all.